Well, good evening and welcome to Joy News Prime. We're coming to you live from our studios here at Kukumlemle. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. Tonight, fire raises 7 houses at a Chinese warehouse in Laterbiokoshie near Radio Gold. We have details as firefighters race against time to bring the blaze under control. We're live on the scene for the very latest. Also tonight, ECG is on its knees before PURC as it makes passionate justification to approve its 225% tariff hike, arguing that generational costs now exceed sales. Also tonight, Central Regional Security Council directs Ghana Water Company's Kwayanku headworks to halt production as Galamsey continues to cause severe pollution. We have details as stakeholders warn of a looming crisis in parts of the region. And 1 killed, 2 injured in clashes between Impatwe Mute and Asanko Mine as it escalates. We have details and take you there live for the very latest. Later, we are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. It's a good time to take a seat and please be my guest. Tonight, there is chaos at Laterbiokoshie as raging fire has torn through the community near Salvation Army School. Thick smoke and flames forced residents to flee as firefighters raced in with multiple tenders to contain the blaze. The Ghana National Fire Service confirms the outbreak started this afternoon. No casualties have been reported, but residents have been warned to stay back and allow crews to fight the flames. Let's go live to the area. My colleague Kenneth Jesse is on that beat for us. He's stationed there for the very latest. Kenneth, what can you report? Has the fire service been able to tame the flames?
Well, unfortunately, no. They've not been able to douse the flames, but they are working assiduously to ensure that it is brought under control. As we speak right now, 7 houses have been affected by the inferno, and the house I stand in front right now, the fire service personnel are trying to prevent the fire from getting to this particular house right now. So all the residents here have been told to move their items from this place. The fire, we understand, started around 2 p.m. and we understand the firefighters also got here on time to ensure that it is brought under control. We're told that it started from a warehouse here and immediately spread to other houses. As we speak right now, the service personnel, the fire service personnel, are trying their possible best to ensure that they bring it under control. We have been engaging more eyewitnesses who witnessed it all start, it all happen. And as I speak right now, I have one with me, and she's here to speak to us. Mami, you see, the fire started around 2 p.m. It started time.
In Pacho, na ka 10 minutes to 4 because ya me share Adum TV. Bibi di ganga. Ntine e wo Latter-day Church. Apata bi wo ntine eti wo. Ntina me share time. Say 10 minutes to 4 pe me kwa share ganga. Ana wusie nu eba. E ho no mo brave bi ka tell say wuda no hye o, wuda no hye. Nti onko e ho no bi ka tell me say eye channel for say me see me customer bi wo ho. E ho no na me start fire service. Oh baby, na fire. Na me so. Ye ho no mu ash, ye Radio Gold echi, ye radio, ye street ye abo your street. E ho no me say, we say ye man light off. Me be sure ye no. Light no, aso. E jana aso light pole no. E na me call electricity, me ko wo lu ma bi wo. Na me see di atu ye nie. E na me jani call Radio Gold say ye sre. Bi atu ye nie na mo report to ye, mo so na so ye. Ama fire service. All right,
thank you. So that is an eyewitness there who is sharing what she witnessed. So of course there are a lot of people here who want to speak to us. Also, so Owahabina Ejano Estate. Me say Obuase omo bedum Ejano, right? So far, how far?
Janu mi kura mi bedru ana one something. Na Janu ano aye di ye pa ba ye bon mo de fi o around no. Ye bisa politank nsuo. E bon mo de say ye bedum Janu. Ba adru ba bi na fire service wo ba no mo se ye njama no. Na omo adwuma pe ye jae hwe so mbe bo mo de say Janu bedum ba ye jae no omo nyina call one side and Janu so direct call different side and achichi sama by this time nyina Janu gusushi.
Okay, Bedase, thank you very much. So that's one of the eyewitnesses as well, who have been sharing what they have seen since they've come here. And earlier I engaged the NADMO, Deputy NADMO Director, who tells me they are working in collaboration with the Ghana National Fire Service to ensure that the situation is brought under control. There's heavy security presence here. Of course, the police is trying to ensure that no one gets in harm's way as things go on. And of course, I have one of the officers at the Ghana National Fire Service. You're live on Joy News.
Okay, so I am the Regional Fire Commander, Assistant Chief Fire Officer Rashid Nisao, Greater Accra Region. At the moment, we have been able to confine the fire. The fire started at 16:15 hours. That was the time we had a call, at 16:15 hours. At 16, the first fire was tender was dispatched. In fact, it took us only 9 minutes. At 16:24 hours, the first fire engine was here. The call for assistance, the call for assistance, the call for further assistance. As we speak, we have about 6 fire engines currently working, and we've managed to confine the fire. So there shouldn't be any panic. We want to assure everybody around here that we managed to contain the fire, we've confined the fire. That is the assurance that I want to give to the general public.
It's been 3 hours since you've been battling this blaze. What has been the challenge?
Yeah, the challenge, one is about water supply. Water, the hydrants in the vicinity are not working. So we have to commute to distance like Circle and other places to go and look for water. That is the major challenge. And you can see that the public are also challenging us. They are battling with us with the fire here. So we have to call for police for what? Assistance to assist us. So in the interim, that is what I want to say, since we are still fighting the fire.
Have you been told what caused this fire?
No, that one is still under investigations. We've had our gone down. We are still doing our investigations, and at the appropriate time, we'll come out with that one. Thank you very much.
At what particular time do you expect that this inferno will be doused?
The term is fighting fire. So we are fighting the fire, and we ensure that as at now, as I speak with you, the fire has been confined. So as to the exact time that we are going to extinguish the fire, I cannot mention that one. But I can assure you that we have confined the fire and to be under control very soon.
Thank you very much. Let's speak now to the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service, who is having a word or two with one of his colleagues before he speaks to us. Have you been able to assess the situation now? Do you know that what started this blaze?
Well, it is early days yet. We cannot, as at now, ascertain what led to this fire. But the good news is that we've been able to confine the fire. Initially, when we came, accessibility was a challenge, and we had to struggle to get access to the affected structure. But due to the strategies or the tactics that we deployed, we fought the fire at 4 different angles, from the frontage and from the back, and that has actually helped us in saving the adjoining properties from being gutted by this fire. If you check the combustibles that are affected or that have been affected, you would realize that they are highly combustible materials such as leathers and then plastic materials. And you know, when these products are affected or involved in a fire situation, they react violently. And one other factor that is also not helping us is the high winds that we are experiencing, and then the stockpile of these combustibles. So as you extinguish the burning surface, the ones beneath them also get engulfed, and the windy nature also tend to spread the fire. But we want to be able to commend the firefighters for standing up to the task in confining the fire. And as at now, we've only had some minor injuries one firefighter injury and a civilian injury, which they have been taken care of by the ambulance service here. What we are trying to do is to talk to the teaming members of the public who have gathered here to catch a glimpse of what is happening, because if you look at the materials involved, they are producing some toxic fumes, and that is what we don't want them to inhale, because if they inhale to a certain extent, it could affect their health. So we have directed the counterpart from the Ghana Police Service to help us to be able to contain the crowd from the cordon off area, especially, so as to be able to find a lasting solution and bringing the situation under control.
I see that a lot of water tanks have been brought in. Have you had challenge with water?
Not that much, because we have as many as 6 fire engines and then 2 water tankers, private water tankers, and they are really helping us to replenish our firefighting tenders, and that has really helped us in confining the fire. If the situation should go this way, within the next hour, maximum 2 hours, we should be able to bring the situation under control.
By bringing the situation under control, is that to say that to douse the flame completely, or to continue fighting it at least until it is finally doused?
Well, so right now what we've been able to do is to confine the fire. Confining the fire is, we have succeeded in checking the spread of fire. So now the fire hasn't gotten the power to extend its wings, and therefore we are working towards reducing its effect, so that it will not have the momentum to even spread further. So that is what we want to achieve, and that is what we mean by bringing the situation under control. So if it is under control, it means that we can now even advance further and begin to do what we call overhaul, where we can turn unburnt material and to finally bring the situation under full containment. So we want to be able to get to that stage, and then we can be rest assured that at that point we can even begin our investigation. We can even get closer to the fire. We can even get to see if maybe somebody probably have lost his or her life. We'll be able to excavate and get to know all those details.
Officer, thank you very much. That's the Public Relations Officer at the Ghana National Fire Service, Desmond Aka there. He says that they've been able to confine the fire, and that is indeed the case. It's been able to be confined because this house that I stand in front only just survived. It survived just in the nick of time, because had it not been for the intervention of the Ghana National Fire Service, it could probably have gone up in flames as well. The people that are already prepared for their worst, they've taken all their items, goods and properties out of that particular building, but it has been confined, as the fire officers tell us, and so it's not going to spread to other places, at least based on the assurances that they've given us. So really, that's the current situation that is going on here. And as the fire officer indicated earlier, they've been trying to advise the civilians not to get closer to the scene because of the toxic that is emanating from the fire. So security here is uptight. The Ghana Police Service are here in their numbers, and so are the firefighters, also here in their numbers, trying to bring the situation under control. But of course, properties worth thousands of Ghana cedis have already been destroyed.
And for bringing us that updates all the way from Laterbiokoshie, just giving us updates as to what exactly is happening on the grounds. And we'll be with you through the whole episode, as we know that the fire service tells us they've been able to contain the flames, but they haven't been able to douse it completely. And we'll be taking you there back once that is done, just to get updates as to the cause of the inferno. Well, fire has ravaged the European town railway community, known locally as Railsmu, in Sekondi Takrady. This is the second time the place has been razed. At least 50 wooden structures have been reduced to ashes, leaving scores displaced. Western Regional Correspondent Natalia Kwanzaa has more in the following report read to you.
In the early hours of Tuesday, flames ripped through the European town railway community in Sekondi Takrade. The blaze reduced more than 50 wooden structures to rubble, leaving families homeless and livelihoods destroyed. Among the displaced are vulnerable residents who depend on the enclave for survival. Residents say the recurrent fires are no accident. They are demanding answers and a thorough investigation.
My dad will be from there. My sister no one, my sister will be from there. My sister no one on the show. No, my son, but my current date is 9 September. My current date is 9 September. It's Abigail no one so. And there was showing 9 September. How 9 September? This is not 3 years. Abigail no one was showing 3 years. So I'm interested that 9 September now I was showing. I'm interested so one should even on one phone.
Officials of the National Disaster Management Organization insist they had only recently engaged the community on fire safety.
On the 18th of July, I think this year, together with my team at the metro level, we came here and organized all those settlers here in our sensitization drive just to get them to see some of the things that they are doing here that may cause disaster, as in fire and also flooding. We had this engagement with them just about a month ago.
Metro Fire Officer DO1 Michael Tete says his team worked tirelessly to stop the flames from spreading to other areas.
The entire enclave here had been engulfed, but the concentration was to ensure that it doesn't move beyond this boundary, because then there are a huge stretch of structures that go all the way to the electricity company. And so we managed to get part of the crew that were uphill here.
On a visit to the scene, Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson described the devastation as a tragedy that underscores the need for stronger preparedness and faster emergency response.
The issue of what to do when there's fire, it's a fire outbreak. We still have a chunk of our people who do not, on top of their head, remember what the emergency number of fire services. It's most unfortunate.
As residents count their losses, the haunting similarity between today's fire and that of 2022 continues to raise questions over the safety and future of the rails community. In Athalia Kwanzaa's report for Joy News.
Away from that, the Electricity Company of Ghana is asking the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission to approve a staggering 225% tariff adjustment, warning that without it, the company faces a financial cliff in 2025. The Ghana Water Company is also pleading for 280% increase, blaming illegal mining for crippling its operations. Gridco too says Galamsey is driving up costs and wants tariffs raised. But the Consumer Protection Committee is urging calm, insisting that these are only proposals and that every demand will be carefully scrutinized before approval.
The Electricity Company of Ghana is sounding the alarm. At the PRC public hearings, management said the cost of producing and distributing power now far outweighs sales, a crisis they claim can only be resolved by hiking tariffs by 225%. ECG one distribution service charge moved from 19 pesos to nearly 62 pesos per kilowatt hour, insisting this would deliver only a modest 3% revenue growth in the next 3 years. Without approval, the company warns of a major revenue shortfall by 2026.
UCG proposed that the DSC1 is increased from 19 pesos to 61 pesos, and this is an increase of 225%.
But ECG's demands go beyond tariffs. The company is also asking for the cost of public lighting, which it says is draining its finances, to be factored in, while also calling for tariff bans to help it recover losses.
I have other proposals for you. So as part of the proposal, ECG has also proposed that the tariff band in some of the bands should be collapse. So if you take a particular note at the end user tariff, there are 3 months in the residential tariff. We are requesting the regulator to reduce that to just 2, to keep the lifeline tariff and just 1 additional one. This has revenue implications for not only ECG, but the whole sector. My colleague has talked about public lighting tariff.
The Ghana Water Company is equally pushing for drastic adjustment, blaming Galamsey for choking water sources and escalating treatment costs. Ghana Water Company Limited says nothing short of 280% hike can sustain its operations. Michael Kluche is Chief Manager, Corporate Planning.
The third and most disturbing one is the pollution of our water bodies. Currently doing business with our resource, the only resource we have, that is the raw water, is becoming a challenge. And I don't think I should be here be telling you what exactly is happening.
Chairperson for the Stakeholder Committee of PRC, Nanaya Jantwa, agrees Galamsey is worsening utility costs, but stresses that the company's requests are still at the proposal stage. She insists the PRC committee will pore over every submission before any decision is taken.
Oh, we have received their proposals for some increment in tariffs. You know, in 2022, the PRC went through a major tariff review process, and we gave them a tariff. They've come to tell us what they use the money for, but not us as PRC. They have to speak to the public. So we have 2 types, which is stepping law: the stakeholder meetings and also the public hearings. So now the process at which we are is the stakeholder meetings. Whatever percentages we see right now, it is the percentages that they have proposed. These are not percentages that we don't know whether we'll give them or not. So after everything, the PRC is going to sit down and also interrogate these numbers, these figures, so that at the end of the day, we will decide what is in the interest of the consumer and the financial viability of the utility service provider.
Meanwhile, industries operating within the Free Zones Enclave are also expected to brace for higher costs, as Enclave Power demands a 163% increase in its distribution service charge. For now, the fate of million consumers rests with the PRC's decision, one that could redefine the cost of power and water for years to come. Isaac Ofeje, Joy News, Accra.
Away from that, the Central Regional Security Council has ordered a shutdown of Ghana Water Company Limited's Kwayanko Headworks in Agona West after Galamsey contamination rendered the facility unsafe. Regional Minister Ekopein Edumwa Otri, who led an inspection, described the pollution as devastating, warning it poses a grave threat to lives and agriculture. Abigail Essie Nkrumah reports.
Central Region's biggest water treatment center, the Kwayanko Headworks in the Agona West municipality, is on the verge of a crisis as illegal mining continues to threaten the quality of water produced at the center. During a visit to the headworks to assess the situation, the Central Regional Minister, Ekopein Otri, expressed concern at the state of the water produced, indicating the efforts are being made to temporarily utilize boreholes to help the districts the headworks serve.
I think where we've gotten to, all that we have to do to ensure that we stop the Galamsey activities, and it's everybody's business. Let's all participate. And so for the time being, the MD has been here. He has taken pictures of what we are seeing here and the activities that is happening at the upstream. To be specific. And so we are taking action on that. In the meantime, as a region, we've asked that the video district assembly to get us information about the existing boreholes and other water bodies where Ghana Water can help us to ensure that it become potable for our people. Fortunately for us, His Excellency President Mahama this time round gave us rules and regulations for the utilization of the common fund, in which we have a borehole component. So I've asked that as a matter of urgency, it has to go through tender processes. But we are writing to the PPA to grant us some, approval to be able to do some single sourcing as a matter of urgency, so that we have contractors to drill some few boreholes for us, so that can take care of us. I'm also saying that it must not be the work of the assemblies and the government alone. Communities must participate, and so we want to all watch out and see who are those, causing this mayhem. And once we know they are the Gamsayers, I think we all have to participate.
The regional minister also directed the engineers at the headworks to halt its activities as authorities find lasting solutions to the problem.
I've even asked that Ghana Water, this plant must not produce any water. If we even see clean water, we will not be sure of the content, because what chemical they will have to add to get it clean for us, it will not be good for our health. And so they must not be pressured to produce any water. No.
But how exactly is the cost of chemicals affecting the books of the Ghana Water Company Limited? My colleague Isaac Ofieje, data analyst and a key member of our research desk, joins me now with more on this. Kofi, the whole day you've been in that crunch meeting between PURC and some of the tariff providers, and they're just giving us their defense as to why exactly tariffs must go up. Let's highlight the Ghana Water Company. Today, they raised a key concern. The cost of purifying water is affecting operations. Tell me more. Kofi, you have to unmute for me to hear you clearly. Great. So I was just asking, what are the numbers telling us really? Ghana Water Company, their concern is that it's costing them now more to purify the water that they pipe to our homes. Tell us more.
So for the Ghana Water Company Limited, for them, about 10 years ago, or just about 5 years ago, if you were looking at the cost build-up, you wouldn't consider something like
oh dear, Kofi, I'm struggling to hear you, and I'm sure our audience as well. We may have to reconnect the lines to my colleague Kofi AJ, just giving us a breakdown of some of the key concerns that came up. If you just tuned in, we told you earlier that the Ghana Water Company, ECG, as well as other key sector producers were before PURC today, and they were raising concerns about the cost of operation and the need for tariff increment. We'll reconnect the lines and speak to my colleague Isaac Kofi AJ. But you're still watching Joy News Prime. We're back after this quick turn. Staying with us to other stories now. A deadly confrontation between the military and residents of Impatwim in the Amante West district has left one person dead and two others battling for their lives. The deceased, identified as the assembly member for Abuabu Samuel Dankwa, was confirmed dead at the hospital after allegedly being shot during the altercation. The violence erupted today, Tuesday, September 9, 2025, in the heat of a clash over a mining concession in the area. Clinton Yeboah has more in the following report.
According to the assembly member of Impatwim, Kwame Sechi, the clash erupted after the agitated youth in the community accused Asanko Mines security of killing a miner a day before. The residents, in response to the alleged killing, blocked roads to the community, leading to a scuffle between the youth and security personnel. According to reports, the confrontation began when an unidentified man was allegedly killed at the company's mining site, prompting his family to reject the body. The situation escalated further when the deceased assemblyman attempted to mediate between the angry family and officials. Eyewitnesses say he was shot multiple times in the process. The body of the 45-year-old was later disposed of at the Mother of God clinic in Esase Bontefufu, where aggrieved residents of both towns, Abuabo and Impatwim, wailing, chanting and vowing revenge. A staff at the clinic explained that military and private security personnel are often stationed at the mine's concession ward of encroachment.
Yeah, I'm saying me so see money there. Me just say mines for no. I was so just some guide a concession on another site one. Yeah, so I'm be because I said the Etienne say a man for no citizens need to me room and I come up want to me room. I call a mine site one.
Sometimes the residents go near the debris of the Asanko mine concession, hoping to find traces of gold. The military suspect that was what the unidentified man was attempting before he was killed. Unfortunately, the assemblyman who was only trying to calm the tensions also lost his life. This is not the first time this has happened. It seemed to be very regular, and it has left this place very chaotic.
I saw the bit to say at the bedroom incidents not happening. It's a man here West Yanum dear. I bet like I said, but to be precise, the
A brother of the deceased said the assemblyman was only trying to resolve the brewing standoff. My brother was not into illegal mining. He was just an assemblyman and was trying to mediate what he saw. He did not do anything to anyone. The reports suggest the agitated youth have begun setting ablaze cars and other properties belonging to the mine. For Joy News, my name is Clinton Abua.
In the last hour, Asanko Gold Ghana Limited has been clarifying details of the violent incident at Impotwem, and that's coming up on your screens now. The official statement from the company. It reads that Asanko Gold Limited wishes to provide the following statement regarding an incident that occurred in its concession near Impotwem on September 9, 2025. The incident involved a confrontation between military personnel and community members on the company's operating concession in the Amansie South District of Ghana. The military presence forms part of state-mandated security intervention coordinated through the Ghana Chamber of Mines. Tensions escalated within the local community, leading to civil unrest, an attack on the military camps, and an invasion of the mining operational areas. These events led to a fatality and significant damages to contractor equipment. The company shares in the community's grief over the tragic loss of life and extends its heartfelt condolences to the affected families during this difficult time. Asanko is working closely with local authorities, government officials, and community leaders to address the situation. The company remains committed to maintaining constructive dialogue with all stakeholders as investigations proceed. The company will provide further updates once investigations are complete. A new report by global civil society organization Pure Earth has uncovered disturbing levels of lead poisoning among children in Ghana. The group points to everyday sources, including the use of aluminium cooking pots and cosmetic products. Experts warn the heavy metal is robbing children of their future, with evidence linking to stunted brain development. Anna Daze has more in the following report read to you.
Lead poisoning, a silent killer, is gradually becoming a major health concern in Ghana. Research conducted in 2022 by Pure Earth shows that 53% of children in Ghana tested positive to high lead contamination. According to Director General of Pure Earth, Reverend Dr. Esmond Kwashi, these harmful chemicals are even present in basic cooking utensils used daily.
The situation is alarming everywhere on the continent, but in Africa we've done some work with UNICEF and Ghana Health Service, and the blood level measurement across 3 ecological zones in Ghana revealed that 53.5% of children have higher blood lead levels. That is at the level where WHO requests for urgent action to be taken to address the issues. We've also discovered through the home-based assessment that we've done that some of the consumer products, such as the locally manufactured cookwares, have higher levels of lead concentrations in them. In fact, 77% of all the locally manufactured cookware that were assessed in these 3 ecological zones in Ghana, had higher levels of lead concentrations. We've also discovered an alarming issue with cosmetics, especially the eyeliners in the northern regions. A lot of these eyeliners have higher levels of lead concentrations.
Principal Program Officer at the Environmental Protection Agency, Absine Japan, has revealed that over the years, research in collaboration with Pure Earth has shown a decline in IQ levels across Africa, including Ghana.
It's pollution and contamination. It means the effect will be definitely on the people. And over the years, as it has already been indicated, we have had IQ levels going down in Africa, which Ghana is not exempted. So it means that we need to do something about it at all.
Speaking at the signing of a MOU between Pure Earth and All Africa Student Association in Accra, Reverend Dr. Esmond Kwashi said the partnership is geared at improving public awareness on the menace.
The overarching goal for this partnership is to raise awareness about the menace of the heavy metal pollution with focus on lead and mercury on the continent.
And that's his report read to you.
Ghana's fight against corruption is facing new doubts as the country sinks further on the 2024 Corruption Perception Index. At a national dialogue in Accra, there were calls for tighter controls on campaign financing, with stakeholders warning that reckless political spending is entrenching corruption. My colleague Maxwell Aklobotu has more in the following report.
Ghana slipped on the 2024 Corruption Perception Index from 70th to 80th position is reigniting urgent calls for tougher anti-corruption measures. Stakeholders are demanding stronger systems and stricter regulations on campaign financing to stem the rising tide of corruption. At the National Commission for Civic Education's National Dialogue on Empowering Citizens and Promoting Accountability, Executive Director of the Ghana Integrative Initiative, Mary Ada, stressed the need for transparency in political funding.
We do not have a very good process when it comes to the prosecution of our campaigns, so we need a campaign financing regime in place. How do we know who is giving them money and who do they account to? We need to bring the candidates on board.
Mary Ada further called for a shorter active campaign period, arguing that it would cut costs and reduce the incentive for corruption once parties assume power.
We want to have a process where we cut to the barest minimum, very few months of active campaign. Then it reduces the need for the excessive money that has to go into it.
Deputy Chairman in charge of General Services at the NCCE, Victor Bobe, attributed rising corruption levels to a breakdown in societal moral values.
There has certainly been a decline, if you like, in terms of our moral compass, broadly speaking. And it's pervasive. It affects all areas of our society. Whether you're looking at the educational sector, whether you're looking at, we were talking today about recruitment into our security services, whether you're looking at our politics.
Former Dean of the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Justice Baule, added that citizens who uphold integrity must be rewarded, saying positive incentives are crucial to win the fight against corruption.
Let's talk about people who are doing right things. Our environment has become too toxic about every day we are shouting corruption, but there are several people also who are doing right. Unfortunately, we don't talk about it.
The NCC maintains that with sustained public education, corruption can be reduced to its barest minimum. Maxwell Aklobotu's report for Joy News.
You know him as a tough politician who's usually in the headlines for all the political reasons in Parliament and national politics. But what you might not know is that the Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin has also had some rough times growing up. He shared some fun memories when he presented a 105,000 Ghana cedis check to some 33 students of the University of Ghana Volta Regional Students Association in Parliament, underscoring the results of hard work and perseverance.
That time also, you could buy kinky, but you could not afford fish. And you know, in Labadia, when you don't buy fish, they call it kinam. Those of you can speak Ghana. And then you dare demand for the black shito. That was for want of a better word, luxury. Yeah? If you dare demand for the black pepper, when you know you didn't buy fish, what a woman would do to you, you will regret. If you don't buy kinam, abahabo, shito, if you know the red one, that one they can give to you. And then when you get into the hostel, you know the ladies, because they will be going and coming, you have to find out whether they have some stew for you. So we've seen life a bit. So when people talk about poverty, I know what it is. So please don't give up. Don't give up. You, the ladies, the temptation is there. Sometimes you ask, why me? Be easy. God has so many ways of opening doors. Never give up on yourself. Each day has its own promises. Difficult times would come. At 47, I know what I'm talking about.